Here's Lee.
Oh, play half court. As long as I don't have to run. Oh, man. As good as it gets. Good as it gets. Little guys kick their butts today.
Okay, let's hear from our race-winning team here today. The 29th annual Cheese It 355 at the Glen. And our race winner, for the first time in his NASCAR Sprint Cup Series career, is AJ Allmendinger. And AJ's still out in victory lane. But we have his crew chief, Brian Burns, and team owners Tad and Jodi Geschickter, and Brad Daugherty. And I'm going to start with Brian Burns. Brian, congratulations on this win. You're going to be in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Has it sunk in yet?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure by the time I wake up tomorrow it'll hit me, but right now it's just it's like watching a movie right now, and it's the good part.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go to Jodi next. Jodi, you've been up here, I know, a couple times, probably more than that, but when the nationwide races that you guys won.
We've been up here with Marcus Ambrose.
That's right. But you won in the Sprint Cup Series, the highest level of motorsports, and just congratulations. And what does this afternoon and this win and everything just mean to you?
This win has been a long time coming. We've been in the sport for 20 years, and it's flown by. But you know, you take it a week at a time, and you hope and you pray that this is the week, and you prepare. But you never really know what's going to happen. There's so many variables, and I try to explain that to some of the younger guys in the sport, that you just always have to be on your game. You always have to be prepared and be in a position to win. And this week we were, and I can't be any happier to have won here in Watkins Glen with the Scott products on the car, and with AJ Allmendinger, and with our family up here with us. And it's a wonderful place to be. It's a real blessing.
Brad Daugherty, you've been in a lot of athletic contests. You've been at the top. But this has to feel right up there at the top today. Congratulations, and talk about this win here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so hard, this business, the racing business. So many talented people once you get to the top, and it's very difficult. We're a smaller team, as everyone continues to talk about, so it's a little bit harder for us. And we felt when we went to Sonoma this year that we were going to win that race, and we did everything that was right, and ended up having a bad day. And when you're a smaller race team, and you tell people, man, we should have won that race, they're going to, and you haven't had the success, they discard you. They say, yeah, you're just dreaming. And I've been saying all along, I thought we were a top 20 race team, and we haven't been able to prove it. But, with the glimpse of what we saw today, I mean, we didn't back into it. It wasn't a rain delay. It wasn't a caution. He got up on the wheel and beat a guy who I think is possibly the best road racer on the planet. So great day for us. We worked really hard. A lot of people know Tad, and I tell you, I've never been around someone so dedicated to a group of people as Tad and Jodi. Tad spends 6-7 days a week on an airplane so we can all come out and do this. He busts his butt. Jodi keeps the house, the office pinned down, and me, I get to talk a lot. So we all have our roles, but it's a great group, and it's a big day for the little guys because, like I said, we got a chance to kick the big guys in the knees today, and boy, we got them square in the shins.
And Brad, when I think of Jodi and Tad, I think of class.
Absolutely, best people. I'm so fortunate to be in business, and I don't even feel like it's business. We're friends. We're having a great time. We go racing. Jodi feeds us and makes sure we don't get too sick and doing what we're supposed to be doing. And Tad hustles his behind off to make sure the lights stay on. And we've got a true family atmosphere, and we're lucky to have a young man like AJ, to have an opportunity to have a driver of his caliber. Our crew chief, Brian Burns, done an unbelievable job this year. He's coming into his own as a crew chief. He was texting me throughout the race to keep me from having a stroke up in the pit studio because I was questioning his pitch strategy and about to lose my mind. So he kept assuring me it was going to be okay, so I needed the comfort. So great group of people. We're not the biggest and not the baddest, but we're the winners today.
You sure are. And Tad, just your comments about today, and see you out at the racetrack every week and know just how passionate you are about the sport and how much it means to you. But just talk about this win today.
You know, it's such a great sport. I got such a belief in it as a marketing platform for brands. I just believe in it with all my heart. And, you know, first person comes to mind is AJ Allmendinger. You know, I've told him since I first got to know him that when he believes in his ability as much as God gave him the ability, he's going to be hard to beat. And I think today he showed everyone just what a great talent he is. Great family, his parents and their support just means the world to me to see him get to this pinnacle of the sport. I think of just the 40 people. You know, we always talk about sometimes a sling and a stone and great faith is enough to slay the giant, and they work together as a team every day and work so hard. And then I think of, you know, we're really blessed to have sponsors that have stuck with us for 20 years through thick and thin. There have been some thin times, and I just think of them and what it means to bring them to victory lane. That's just gratifying.
We'll take questions now. Try to limit it to one per person. We'll start all the way in the back. Then we'll go to Stan and then to Lee.
Yeah, Brian, you came and tested. Talk to the effects of that on today.
Yeah, we know this is one of those races we put on the refrigerator on the calendar there that we have a chance to win a little more than some of the other places we go to. Had a great car at Sears Point. I brought that car out here a couple weeks ago. Was fortunate to test with some good cars as well to kind of be able to gauge ourselves. The 78, the 9, and a few others were there. Left that test feeling really good. AJ's been focused all weekend, showed up here feeling just as good about it. Wanted him to make a long run in a happy hour just to see where the car was going to go, and he pulled off before 10 laps even into it, and he's like, I don't need to go anymore. I know we're good, and go ahead and switch over to qualifying trim here. So he was just as confident as we were, and it showed today.
Go ahead, Stan, and then we'll go to Lee.
Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. Brad, compare what this victory means to you to a victory that you got as an athlete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kerry asked me that earlier, and that's a great question. You know, the thing that's different is there's so much involved in this sport to have a perfect day like we had. Pieces, parts, a lot of different people. You know, and playing pro basketball, if we were playing a team or whatever, you know, I had a lot of control over what I could do, and if I was having a great game, or any pro players having a great game, you're in control. But this thing is so much, and just like you saw today, at the end of the day, all the cautions. Man, we were gone. I was so excited. We were checking out, and just had to save a little bit of fuel. And boy, I tell you, my heart rate was great. And then you're sitting there, you know the cautions are coming here, and so that's totally out of your control. The situation we were in got a little bit out of our control as well. So I think that's the biggest thing, is you just don't have total control of it. So when you have a moment you can seize, like he did in those last few laps, you got to dominate that moment. And that's what really, really good professional athletes do, and that's what you saw AJ do today.
Well, was there a specific moment in your career as a player that measures to where today?
Boy, I tell you, I don't think so, because as a pro basketball player or a college basketball player, like I say, I always knew that we get to win every week. You know, in this business, we don't get to win every week. So to have this opportunity this is a pinnacle moment for our race team. We've had a couple opportunities. Should have won Sonoma a few years ago. Should have won it this year, but we didn't. So today's a huge day for this company, this organization. It just shows you what perseverance is all about. And we're little bitty guys, man. Like I say, we got the big guys today. Yeah, thank you.
Go ahead, Lee.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Brian, you knew what you were up against, having had Marcos in the equipment. What's your strategy at that point? Because you have the best guy going against the best guy. You just kind of put it in your driver's hands.
Yeah, I think we did our own thing from the test, and now I felt like they were watching us more than we were watching them. So I felt like we maybe were a step ahead the whole time. Felt good about that, and you could hear them on the radio. What are they doing? Where are they at? We had a strategy that we went with that was different than most of the rest of the guys out there. We went with the 3-stop deal. Had to catch that caution right after our second stop, and it hit perfectly. We pushed it to I think it was lap 47 there, and only had like a lap on a tire. So when the caution came out, we were fuel only and good to go after that. So kind of watching from the nationwide race yesterday, but. And just being with AJ, anybody in that field, I'd put him up against him, especially on restarts. I think that's his forte, and everybody sees how aggressive he is, and he did that today.
And Ted, you had to make a big decision last year to take Bobby out of the car and put AJ in. How hard was that, and what was it about that kid that you just knew that this was the right thing for JTGD?
Well, Bobby's such a great champion and a friend. He had done a lot for where we were that point in our Sprint Cup development, helping us build out the team. But once he helped us get to that point and was at the end of his career. I did not know AJ Allmendinger until the first time we met in Richmond, but the more time I spent up against him, and Bobby broke his clavicle or whatever, and we got to work with him. I just know he was the right guy for this team. We try and run it like a family, and he was looking for a home. So it's been a lot of fun. I consider him a friend, tremendous talent, but a really great person. So that's what I look for.
Let's go to Reed right up here up the front, and then we'll go to the young man right there.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. For Brad and for Ted, first of all, congratulations.
Thanks, Reed.
4 races from now, you guys have to change gears. And, AJ was in here yesterday or 2 days ago saying, might make the chase, but I'm not sure we're quite ready to contend for a championship. But now that you're in, you might as well go for it. What do you do?
We're going to have a meeting with Richard Childers first thing in the morning. We need a ton more horsepower. It'd be great. That's first of all. But the reality of it is it was going to play out today, and it comes down to pit road. That first stop really was watching because in order to compete with the bigger teams, at this racetrack, you're going to have sub 15-second pit stops. And when we get back to running the oval tracks, we're going to have to be in the high 12s. And so the pressure was on our guys today, and our first stop was 14.4, and I was like, man, our guys have dug in. So that's going to be the biggest thing for us. We go back to the mile and a halves and start competing. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because of the simulation software for all these race teams. But with the ride heights and AJ's ability, if we can qualify the car well, we're going to race okay. And I'm confident in Brian. I'm confident in my pit crew. I think that we have more in us. We go to racetracks like Atlanta. We go to places like Martinsville, Bristol. He's good at those racetracks. I think we got a chance. If the dominoes fall correctly, we got a chance. So we got to put all our eggs in one basket. We don't want to just be there as a back marker. We want to make some noise.
Yeah, for me, the mile and a half with a lot of grip, that's been our Achilles heel. And Richard Childers brought a brand new approved chassis to Indy, and it showed really well. So we've got one of those in the hopper. And, if we can shore up those high grip, high speed places, when you're slipping and sliding around, I put AJ against anyone. If we can do our job on pit road, I think we can contend.
Let's go right here to the front row. No, I'm sorry, young man right here, and then the front row. Go ahead, sir.
Stephen Bond from WHEC, guys, over here. Congratulations today on the win. Former champion Tony Stewart wasn't here today because of a tragic event at Canandaigua. Brad and Brian, just your thoughts. I know the racing community is a fraternity. Your thoughts on this tragic loss?
Let me go. Obviously, just a catastrophic evening last evening, and our sympathies go out to the family that lost the young man. And it's been a difficult day for the Stewart-Haas organization. We all recognize that, and we all feel like we're all family because we travel 36 weeks out of the year. It seems like 100 years together. So our hearts go out to Tony, but specifically out to the family. It's a tremendous loss, and I thought that the Stewart-Haas and Tony and those guys did the right thing by showing the appropriate respect to the situation as well as the family. More importantly to the family by not racing today. And so we'll see what unfolds with that, but our thoughts and prayers go out to that family.
Go ahead, right here, front row.
Ed Coons from Speedway Media. First of all, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. You guys have been associated with a lot of different organizations, and can you tell me what RCR is bringing to the table for you guys, and how you can expect, in the next few weeks to build off of that?
There are a lot of these technical alliances out there, but Richard's been a mentor of mine since my first year in the sport, and always taking the extra time to show us what everything's about, and the effort they put into systems so this engineering alliance works is second to none. So when they said we'd be partners, I believed him, and he's gone above and beyond. So, you know, instantaneously in the garage, if Ryan Newman changes a spring, we know it, and that's, you know, he's put his money where his mouth is, and we appreciate it. We wouldn't have done it today without him.
And some oomph. We have got some oomph, boy. That's all I want. When he steps on that thing, I want to hear it grunt, and it does. It's awesome.
That's right. Okay. You guys want to hear from AJ?
No.
Let's hear from AJ Allmendinger. We'll excuse you guys up front here. Thank you very much. Again, congratulations, and I look forward to seeing you here several other times.
Man, they got that one. I threw my other one away. He got away from me.
I had to win. Brad walked. What was it? Where were we last week? I don't even remember now. Pocono. He walked around to Pocono and told everybody we're going to whoop their butt last week. I was like, thanks, Brad. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's almost the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. AJ Allmendinger.
Jimmy got like 27 championships and 197 wins. Yeah, my one's about the same. We're getting there. Making a run. Here we go. Watch out, Jimmy.
All right, this is going to be good. AJ Allmendinger.
I want Brad back up here. He just makes me laugh.
AJ Allmendinger is qualified for the 2014 chase for the NASCAR.
We did?
Sprint Cup. Yes, sir.
Well, nice.
You got to qualify for the rest of the races.
And I'm glad I don't have to run the showdown anymore in the All-Star race, at least for 1 year. That's awesome.
Right. You're also going to be in the 2015 Sprint All-Star race. So congratulations.
I get to practice making a run to pit road now next year because that scared the heck out of me this year.
Just
All right,
talk about this win tonight and the significance of it.
I mean, obviously that goes without saying how big and how important it is to this race team, and you know, to be able to share it with Tad and Jodi and Brad and everybody at this whole 47 race team here at the racetrack, back at the shop. You know, Tad, Jodi, and Brad especially, and I've said it a million times, and I truly believe it, that they make this team feel like such a family and like we're their own. And, you know, to be able to share that together, that was what, to me, rolling into victory lane meant, was that I was pulling in to victory lane with my family because they were there. My parents are here. My girlfriend, Tara, you know, she's been such a great direction in my life. So to be able to share that, you know, as a family, you know, my bus driver, Skippy, I mean, heck, he's had to endure me breaking cabinets and punching refrigerators in my bus and having to repair stuff. So to be able to share that together, that to me is what it's all about, is that that's a part of family, and that's the coolest thing that I'll take from it. It helped having Roger Penske and the Penske Racing guys and Richard Childress show up and congratulate me too. That meant the world to me because it means that, to me at least, that I'm still a part of their family too, and they care about me. And you know, as Tad and they were saying, what Richard Childress has done for us between the Alliance and the ECR Motors and what Chevy's done to help us get to this point, we couldn't do without him. So that was really cool. Everything that just happened in Victory Lane, it was something that I'll never forget.
Take questions now for AJ. We'll start here with Kyle. Raise your hand, Kyle.
Hey, AJ. Kyle Magnus, Speedway Digest. Did you ever imagine your first win in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series to be as dramatic and as tight as in the finish as it was today?
I was hoping to make it boring, honestly. Want to lead all 90 laps and just you know, have a cruise control, but that's what makes the Sprint Cup Series so fun. You know you're not going to get that. You know, and Marcus, you know, I don't believe he's one of the best road racers in NASCAR. I don't believe he's one of the best in the U.S. I believe he's one of the best in the world. And to be able to have to go with him basically one-on-one there, and I felt like I've always respected him, but I respect him so much now because he could have easily just wrecked me, and honestly probably moved me out of the way and wrecked me and drove to the win and made the chase and everything's great. But he didn't. He moved me out of the way, and he leaned on me, and I leaned on him back. So to have that, but have that mutual respect where, we know what the limit is. We're going to take it right to the edge of that limit, but to be able to lean on each other but not wreck each other, and have such a great finish for us, for me, to have that race be so memorable about how it ended. For the fans, they were so great for staying around through all the red flags. The track workers did such a great job to fix the fence and everything. So it's just a memorable day to go out there and remember everything that just happened. And I hope I win a lot more. But if I don't, to be able to remember it like this, it's pretty awesome.
Yes, sir. Right here, this gentleman here, and then to Lee. Go ahead, sir.
Dave Sully, Ariota Racing News. In the last 2 restarts, Marcus passed you and you passed him back. Take us through those last 2 restarts and what was going on in your head.
Well, I mean, I knew I was going to have to pull every trick out of the bag that I could. He's so good, and he's so good about maneuvering his race car, making these big race cars turn and do what they need to do. And that first restart, I thought Kurt was close enough behind me that I didn't need to worry about him cutting under me. I was more worried about him trying to hang the outside of me. So when he turned under me, it surprised me that he was still there. And to kind of bounce off each other through the S's, which you're not really supposed to do. And then us go flying through the grass, and felt like he'd got some stuff on his tires, so the next couple of corners he overdrove a little bit, and I was able to get back under him and have that caution came out. And then, that last restart, I was really hoping Carl would make a good restart and kind of slide in between us, but I figured it wouldn't happen. And, I got through the bus stop, and I got a little loose through there, and I knew I kind of checked myself up, and as I said, he could probably just drove through me and just really cleared me out and sent me. But he just moved me enough to get that car width on the bottom that he needed. But I was able to hold the outside of him and knew I had the next corner. And I kind of leaned on him getting in the left-hander, just knowing if I can make him drive in deep with me and I can make the corner and he messes it up, if they get racing behind me and I get a 3-4 car length gap, I have a good shot at this thing. And once I came off the last corner coming for the white, I looked in my mirrors and saw them side by side, and it was like the most perfect sight I'd ever seen in my life. And I just knew I needed one perfect lap there, so just a dream come true.
Go ahead, Lee.
Those restarts were spectacular, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You had such incredible success in kart, and you think about the struggles that you had just getting up to speed, and then with Roger, and then coming back with Roger. Your guys who were up here earlier, your peers basically said that it took a lot from you, to get back to this point. Can you just talk about what that road's been like, and now knowing that you're going to be in the chase? I mean, it may not be, the best opportunity you've ever had to be in the chase, but you're there. Can you just kind of talk about what the last few years have been like?
Yeah. I mean, coming from open wheel racing and coming into NASCAR, I watched it my whole life, and I thought, oh yeah, I mean, it looks tough, but yeah, it can't be that tough. And then I got in these cars, and I was like, what the heck are these things? Like, I mean, these are the toughest things I've ever had to learn how to drive, and it shows that it's one of the toughest series in the world, and I think sometimes it doesn't get the respect when it comes to outside the U.S. just because maybe, compared to like a Formula One, it's not as popular throughout the course of the world, but it's tough. I mean, we see all the guys that come over from open wheel racing and the ones that I mean, obviously Juan had a little success, and Tony's probably the biggest success when it comes from open wheel racing, but it's difficult to just really describe how hard it is to come in this, and I probably didn't come in the best way, with a brand new team like that, and it's just been a struggle the whole time. And when I got with Roger, I knew it was the best opportunity in my life, and I tried to fake it inside and say this is the right time for it. I kept telling myself, yeah, this is the right time for it, but I knew it wasn't the right time for it. And over the course of what happened, it made me become a better person and just really try to understand what life is all about, because unfortunately this sport will take over your life. It will completely, when it's good it takes over, but when it's bad it really takes over, because that's all you can think about. So to be able to go through all that and come out the other side, and I'm so thankful last year for James Finch and Roger Penske and my great friend Michael Schenk for all the opportunities they gave me to be in a race car and live some dreams out, like racing in the Indy 500, be able to win for Roger and get my picture on his wall so it looks like I've actually been there. But more importantly, to come here and have Tad and Jodi and Brad say, you know what, we're going to take a chance on him, and we think he's going to make this race team better. And I learn every day. I try to get better every day. I'm sure they'll attest to you. There's certain days it's not good. I'm still not where I want to be. There's other days that I'm happy and I'm where I want to be. But I wouldn't go back and change the process because I know I am a happier person. I am a more centered person. I know I need to keep working on to get better at that still. But I'm surrounded by a family, and to be able to share it together, we'll never forget this. So it's I wouldn't change anything about this.
All the way, excuse me, all the way in the back row. Go ahead.
I'm Ted Goldberg with Time Warner Cable News. First of all, congrats on the first career win. Obviously, a fantastic day for you. I mean, you'll remember this for a while, but I guess after what happened, last night, I guess, did you feel like that kind of cast a shadow over everything that was going on today?
Well, I mean, I think it's one of those things that you look back at, and it's a tough time for everybody. I said on TV after the race, this NASCAR community, we're, as a whole, we're a family. And when anything like that happens, it's something that you don't just kind of erase and you forget about, and all of our thoughts and prayers. And it may not seem like it, or, I wish there was more to do, but, it goes to the Ward family and what happened. It also goes to Tony, because it's not like he's sitting there and forgetting about it. I mean, it's tough scenario. So you just try to come together. That's all you can do. And you try to be thankful every day for the things that we have, the things that we're able to share together. And you also know that there's a lot less fortune out there, and there's a lot of disasters, whether it's in racing or not. So you just try to keep that in perspective and always have your thoughts and prayers and do whatever you can to help out and be better with it.
Go ahead. Stay on the back row.
Eric Silverman, ESPN Ithaca. Certainly a very lengthy red flag there with 34 laps to go. How were you able to stay focused and keep that from rattling you when you got out there for the restart?
Well, I mean, it's part of the job. I mean, you don't want to sit there and wait for over an hour, but it's part of the job. And kind of gave us a chance, myself and Brian Burns, my crew chief, and everybody just kind of said, okay, what's going to happen here? What's the strategy? What are we looking at? What are we going to do next? Because once you get back in the car, whether it's been an hour delay or, you're out there each lap, you go right back into the mode of knowing this is your job and you got to get back right into it. So I felt like a lot more guys that had just pitted were going to stay out. So when I saw everybody come down pit road with me, and there was only, 3 or 4 cars that were restarting in front of me, I knew they were on a lot older tires than I was. It made it a lot easier. So I just knew I needed a good restart. If I could get in the lead, immediately I could go into field-save mode. And that's what I did. I tried to make sure I got up to second, I think, on that restart and got around Carl as quick as possible. And immediately was gapping myself off of Kurt and Marcus while trying to save fuel just in case it went green. We all knew it wasn't going to go green the whole time, but just in case. And then from there, it's just about doing everything that I've learned in my life to try to hold them off and make no mistakes.
Let's stay on the back row. Go ahead.
AJ, the test here a couple of weeks ago, pretty important, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with a team like ours, anytime we can have a test at any racetrack, it's important. But we came here last year and tested, and it really helped out. We had a shot to win last year. I thought we had a great test with our Scott Product Chevy, and I was, as I said, cautiously optimistic because I didn't want to get too excited, but I really thought we had a good car. And we get so much help from Richard Childress and ECR and Chevy with the Alliance, but there's no substitute for our own on-track testing, and we don't get a lot of it. So I felt like we maximized that test. We did everything we needed to do during that test to come here and come back and say, okay, this is the little box that we're going to work in. We know what works and what doesn't work, and we're not going to skew from that. So it was definitely huge for us to have that opportunity, because without that, you just don't know. We got half these races we're testing stuff, trying to figure out what direction we need to go. So to be able to shorten that box is such a big deal for us.
Let's go to Reed, Kyle, and we'll finish with this gentleman here.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wires. It was on Friday, before being in the chase was a reality. You were saying, you know, we may get in the chase, but, you know, I don't know whether we're ready to contend for a title. I asked Brad that same question just a few minutes ago. He said, we got a shot. So do you feel the same way?
I mean, we got a shot. I'm not going to disagree with him. Thanks, Brad. Yeah, that's right. No, I mean, honestly, it's huge to be in the chase. You know, and I didn't want to, when I was saying that on Friday, I didn't want to just say, you know, just to be there, we're happy to be there. You know, we want to go in there and make some noise. But I think more importantly, for all the sponsors that are associated with this team, Scott Products and Bush's Beans and Kingsford and Clorox, Charter, Shore Lunch and Hungry Jack and everybody that's associated with this race team. You know, Kimberly Clark signed back up for 3 more years through 2017. Kingsford and Clorox did that earlier this year. So I feel like our sponsors see the right direction. So to be able to get them, our race team, to be able to say we're a chase team, to get that exposure when it comes to whether it's dollars on TV or just be able to come back to the sponsors and say, see, you know, what you're putting into this race team, we're working hard and we're trying to give it back. And Tad and Jodi and Brad do such a good job of the way they market all of our products together and how they help promote them. You know, and when it comes to the chase, with the new format, it doesn't mean we can't show up to Chicago and get hot early. And you know, it's the way the format's laid out, you don't have to be amazing for 10 races. You just have to be good enough each 3 sets of races. The next thing you know, you get to Homestead, anything can happen. So, Brad, I agree. We'll go get them.
Let's go to Kyle, and then we'll finish up with the gentleman in the black shirt. Go ahead.
AJ, how does this win today compare to your wins in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, the Kart Series, and the Rolex 24?
They're all so special in different ways. You know, Kart at that time and Champ Car was what I had dreamed about my whole life, really. You know, coming up through karting and being Paul Tracy's go-kart driver and doing that and having a couple years and the way it worked out there, being fired and hired the first race, coming back and winning. That was so special. The Rolex 24 was special because I look at Michael Schenk, just like I look at Tad and Jodi and Brad as one of my best friends. And we had tried for 8 years to try to win that race together. And so many times he tried to say, you need to go to a team like Ganassi and go win this thing. You know, you deserve to win it. And I said, man, shut up. We're going to win it together. Just shut up. We'll win it together at some point. So to be able to share that with him and great friends that have helped me along in my career like Oswaldo Negri and John Pugh and my ex-teammate Justin Wilson, that was really special. And last year was so awesome because, you know, when I signed with Roger in 2012, his whole shop is laid out of all the people that have won from Donahue to Mears to Castroneves, you know, throughout NASCAR and IndyCar and sports car racing. And I walked in that shop and said, man, I want to be on this wall. I want to be a part of that. And after it all happened, I thought, I'll never get to be a part of that. I'll never be able to be on that wall and to know that if I walk into Penske Racing right now, I'm still on that wall like I was a part of it. That's really cool. And to have Roger give me that opportunity again was something that he didn't have to. I didn't ask for it, but he felt like I earned it with everything I went through and how hard I was working. So to be able to give something back, I was hoping to give him the Indy 500 back, but it wasn't in the plan. So to be able to give that back, but honestly, nothing compares to today because I have went through hell in this series, absolute hell, whether it was missing 19 races my first year, wanting to slip my wrist on a weekly basis, thinking about, like, what am I doing here, to feel like I had it figured out and to lose my job with Red Bull and to be so close a couple of times with the 43 and then obviously to go through what I went through with the 22 and just to go through hell and back and to know that this was my dream that I've worked so hard for over the last 8 years was to win a race here. I mean, you can ask any of my family, Tad, Jodi, my parents, my girlfriend, Tara. It's all I talk about. It's what I, am happy about one day and so hard on myself about the next day. So I don't have to hear anymore, AJ might be that next first-time winner. I'm tired of that, so I don't have to hear about it anymore.
Final question. Gentleman there in the black shirt, go ahead.
AJ, you've got the sponsor announcement earlier this weekend. You guys come out, you win the race, you're in the chase. Parents are here. You've got Brad ready to call Jimmy Johnson tomorrow morning. How are you going to look back on this weekend?
I'm going to enjoy tonight. I'm going to have fun with everybody, all my family on this race team that deserve to have fun because they are the ones that put the hard work in every day, every weekend. My crew guys, I mean, they show up to the racetrack. They show up Sunday night at whatever time we get home. They show up at 7 in the morning to tear the car apart again. So all the crew guys that are back at the shop that spend those extra hours working on this car because we don't have a lot of people to fine-tune these cars, share it with them, and you know, having my family here and my parents and everybody, I'm just going to enjoy it. You know, I'm sure I'll get to Michigan. I'll be on cloud 9, excited. I'll go make my first run. I'll be like, come on, Burns, you suck. Let's go. Let's make this better. We suck again. But no, I'm just going to have fun. It's what it's all about. I've dreamed about this moment, and I'm not going to forget it.
All right, any additional questions? All right, congratulations, AJ.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for everything.